Por cima. Isso é difícil esse sorry about Portuguese, guys.
It's okay.
Okay, so okay. Yes, it is, but it's barely understandable for anyone, I guess.
Brazilians know it.
Brazilians, do you know what? It's actually not that.
Similar?
There's
a lot of differences.
There's a lot of differences. We understand them, but it's because Brazilian is much more openly pronounced. For instance, as is Italian or Spanish. So it's not as Russian sounding as it is as Portuguese is. So they don't understand us. So sometimes it's just they won't know what the heck we're talking about. but yeah. So how are you guys?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing excellent. I'm speaking to a band that's been around, around my musical knowledge since pretty much very early on. So
since before you were born.
Well, yes, because I'm actually from '81, so you guys weren't around then. Green River wasn't playing then.
No, not yet, but Mr. Rep was.
Mr. Rep, okay, yeah, because you guys started Mr. Rep really early. So yeah, of course.
Yeah.
That was '81, I guess, probably when M started, right?
80. Yeah.
I totally just faux pod my technical, because this also goes on a podcast because we're doing video. This goes on a show called Made of Things. I need you guys to introduce yourselves, of course.
Okay. My name's Mark Arm, and I'm in the band Mudhoney.
My name is Steve Turner. I'm in Mark's band called Mudhoney.
So 2 minutes. So 2 minutes in, we're doing IDs, but it's fine. It's fine. So you guys actually, I have friends of.
I just want to make it clear that now the band is mine, and I get all
like this is legal proof here. Like
I get all the royalties, what have you. Okay, thank you, Steve. You're very magnanimous.
How generous of you. Yeah, exactly. So you guys actually,
because honestly, it's not enough to split amongst 4 people. But for one person, it's okay.
But still. So you're doing stuff with Sub Pop with the warehouse?
Yeah, I'm working the warehouse at Sub Pop.
What does that entail?
My title is warehouse manager, but mainly what I do is send out records to stores and distributors.
Oh, okay. What about you, Steve? Do you do something else apart from Mudhoney?
I've been selling records online for about 12 years.
Cool.
Quite a bit, yeah.
What's the name of the store?
Just eBay, Discogs.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay, cool, awesome.
I can be found out there.
Cool, awesome. I didn't know because I actually saw interviews with you guys where you guys mentioned that, and I saw the Wikipedia thing. And I actually have friends at Sub Pop, Carly and Becca.
Oh, yeah. No, they were here. They were here a couple years ago, weren't they?
Yes, at my place.
Oh, yes. No, sweet.
For a couple of weeks, exactly.
Oh, awesome.
Awesome. About 10, 12 days or something.
Right. Yeah, I remember they came over here. So they came back stoked. They said they had such a great time.
We all love them. They spent most of the time with me. Luckily, I had some time off then, but we just hung out and they met a lot of cool people. Luckily, and like a large group of cool people that were around. Most of them are at this festival or living abroad or something, and we've kept in touch. I just emailed them yesterday. So,
awesome.
So it's just nice to. This matters again to no one, but it's just a personal connection. It's cool. So you guys, I should make a more more professional question now, but like you guys probably talk about grunge all the time, don't you?
No.
Not really.
Only when there's one of these in front of us. This is the only time we talk about grunge.
No, I mean during interviews.
Yeah, of course.
Oh yeah,
of course.
But is it so you guys feel like you're one of the bands that of that time that really has maintained throughout the years in terms of not necessarily style, but like this some going on strong. So
Yeah, we don't think about it like that. We just keep doing whatever we want to do, and obviously our past is linked with grunge, but we're so much more than grunge.
Yeah, we're punk rock.
yeah, we're also punk rock.
You are way more punk rock than other grunge bands, I'd say. It's because it is much more garage.
I have to bow out
Okay,
now.
all right. See you, Steve.
You're in good hands, though.
See that band Tales of Terror on his shirt right there? That was a huge influence.
Tales of Terror?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They're they did one record in '84.
Oh, really?
But they were.
One record. So they exist like for 6 months or something?
No. They existed for longer than that, but it was like harder to put out records at that time. And they were kind of like kids who used to be in like hardcore bands who started playing a little bit more expanded rock and roll stuff. So they would like some of the covers they did were like Search and Destroy and what's that Jimi Hendrix song? Spanish Castle Magic.
Oh, Spanish
Castle Magic, and they were amazing. They were a great band.
Who are they on?
The record label was called CD Presents.
CD Presents, never heard of it. I just don't remember.
They did a couple compilation records with like Black Flag and the Circle Jerks and stuff like that.
Cool, awesome.
But
It's I usually have this question about because the show is called Made of Things. I usually leave it for later, but I'll ask you now: is there anything that has made you as an artist? You would say that because you've dedicated yourself to music and stuff, and life in music, and there must have been something, or a lot of people do have this. There must have been something that you listened to, or heard, or read, or something that made you, I want to do that forever, as much as I can. Did you have that?
Yeah, well, like when I started playing music, I mean, even before I started playing music, I didn't think music was something that would be even available to me, As a kid growing up in the 70s, I loved certain things on the radio that I heard, and I was drawn to like the louder, more aggressive things, which wasn't all that much in the radio in the 70s, but that's what
sticks and stuff. Mostly sticks.
Mostly sticks, but every once in a while you'd hear like Aerosmith or Ted Nugent or something, or Black Sabbath, Alice Cooper.
Okay. Black Sabbath on the radio sometimes, really?
A little bit.
Oh wow.
Yeah. A little bit.
Okay. Enough that you had a connection with it.
Yeah. I mean, there's most of the stuff on, like when I was a little kid, was like pop, like ABBA and stuff like that.
And the Carpenters, I would imagine.
Yeah, the Carpenters for sure.
Carpenters in the U.S. Yeah.
But the idea that I grew up with was that like all these people and all these bands were magnificent musicians who like had been playing since they were born, and I just didn't have that skill, so I didn't even think that was an option for me until kind of punk rock came along, and not even like 77 punk rock, but more like very early 80s hardcore.
Okay. Yeah.
And mainly because that was like music that was being made by kids that were my own age.
Sure.
Like 16 to early 20s, like just, it's like, anyone can do this, and
because it opened up a lot of doors, because I'm sure, like, because once you had people like, I don't know, the Minutemen or something doing stuff.
I mean, the Minutemen, like, they were fucking fantastic musicians. There were also bands like Flipper who just made the most god-awful but beautiful noise that I was really, really into, and that was kind of like something I can relate to, because I can make a shitload of horrible noise and have a good time. And there was no way at that point that I thought, like, this is going to be what I do for the rest of my life.
Okay.
I mean, that was just like, this is what I'm doing now. We're playing in bands with my friends while I'm going to college or whatever. I mean, at that age, I thought like I was going to maybe be a novelist or something like that, which is another far off thing that obviously did not happen.
It's your own version of the thing, though, isn't it?
Yeah. Turns out it's a lot easier to make noisy music than it is to write a novel
and shout out stuff that doesn't necessarily have to make sense unless it's for yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
But you're going with Flipper then.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, like the idea that
influential, right?
They were for me, and for some other people too. But I mean.
You're gonna say,
but I think they're influential, and it's like it just doesn't fucking matter. You know what I mean? It's like most of the people that I knew were playing music just for the joy of it, and not for like the long haul or to make a career of it. A few years later, some people got the idea that maybe we could have a career, and Steve and I thought they were crazy, but then like kind of obviously, but as time went on, by the time Mudhoney happened, things happened so quickly and easily for us with the help of Sub Pop that we found ourselves going on a European tour 1 year into the band. You know, things that like were inconceivable when I was in Green River. You know, and not even thought of when I was in Mr. Ep, because Mr. Ep, I think, didn't even play Portland. You know, that was just like played around Seattle.
There's always been a scene, more or less. Not that it matters, but you know, there's always been because Washington bands seem to have really good taste. You know, the grunge thing, and then the post-hardcore bands were really good. You know, and usually when I interview or talk to someone from Washington State, I tend to mention that, you know, you have a lot of bands. Is there a lot of quality bands? Is there like a lot of solidarity? I mean, or brothership? Do you feel a kinship with other people?
Well, I feel a kinship with people who are kind of my generation and that we were playing with at the time. Like the younger people, I don't go to parties with 20-year-olds at this point. You know, I'm an old man. Yeah, but it'd be creepy.
Well, unless it's what you did.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be like the old guy in the kitchen, you know, like what's that all about? You know,
unless they were snotty about it, it's fine, dude. I would.
I mean,
it's more on them than on you, I would say. For sure.
Oh no. You know, one thing about Seattle and the Pacific Northwest is the weather it's dark and kind of not very cold, but cold enough and rainy that you don't want to. There's not much to do outdoors for half of the year. You know, like we're in California, you can just go surf year-round or go skateboarding year-round. You know,
I live in Portugal. I know.
Yeah,
it's pretty much the same.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never been to California, or I haven't yet. But everybody says that this is pretty much like California weather. It's a little bit, you know, this is Porto and this is a little chilly today. But usually, I'm from Lisbon. We're from Lisbon, and I'm from Lisbon. I'm from Lisbon, and it's usually excellent weather, really, most of the time.
Right.
So and everyone says like, it's. You know, LA and around LA and San Francisco has obviously different weather, but it's pretty much, you know, not to talk about the weather, but you know, it's that mindset at least that you can literally be doing nothing, you know, and be happy, you know, just taking in the sun and having a couple of beers and whatever.
Right.
You know? So I can tell. Do you feel
this stuff is everywhere?
Yeah, do you have that?
And it's super cheap.
It's a rosé wine.
Yeah, it's a Vino Verde.
Oh, it's a Vino Verde. Oh, but it's a reddish.
Yeah. And that costs a little over €3 at the grocery store.
It's insane. Yeah.
And in Seattle it's maybe $9, so it's like 3 times the price. $9-10.
What would you get in the US for that price? Like box wine or something?
For $3, you'd get
not even
shit.
Really?
You'd get shit for you wouldn't want to drink it.
Do you know how much box wine is over here?
No.
Like 60 cents. It's stupid. Yes. You wouldn't want to get that for that price, but
right.
For that price, because you have other stuff available for like
just a few more.
a couple of years more, and you'll be fine.
So, I mean, like for not much money, you can just sit around and have a good life.
Exactly. That's exactly it. On the other hand, it's true though. On the other hand, wages though, fucking shit. You know.
Oh, right.
Yeah, wages are terrible, but. If you want to stick around Portugal, you'll do fine. You know, a lot of people just move here. You know, a lot of musicians and stuff like that. Primavera just performed last night. He's been living in Lisbon for 10 years or something. It's and a lot of people do that. Yeah, actually, it's funny. You know, Thurston was here for like 6 months or something back in Lisbon. Right. I think met him a couple of years ago. And but you feel like, for instance, if you look at the festival, this Primavera Sound in Porto, do you feel like there's more, do you feel like there are a lot of bands that are brother bands, more or less, or at least that represented something that you were a part of? Do you feel like any part of a movement?
Like a few. I mean, Dinosaur, which I haven't even said hi to those guys yet, but...
hi, Jay, over there. He's not going to look.
He's talking to Dan, our drummer, and...
okay. And Mascus is over there for people who aren't, seeing this, but yeah. And Lou Barlow just passed me by. I talked to him like 10 years ago. Yeah.
Oh, right.
And there's Neil Haggerty tomorrow. Then,
awesome. Yeah. I haven't seen the full lineup. I just saw the lineup for today.
Oh, I didn't mean to put you on the spot. Yeah. You need to know the lineup. Of course you don't.
We did a couple shows with Proto Martyr a few years ago, and I love that band.
Awesome.
I don't know if we'll stick around tonight because we have to get super early tomorrow to catch a flight.
I see. Do you guys? Let me just check, because I prepare these things. But for instance, like you, yes, I do. But do you think, like, it was back to the grunge thing? Not to hark too much on the grunge, but it's not often that you get, you know, someone that was there and such a big presence of something that was so huge worldwide, you know, and so, you know, people still are, you know, listen to grunge all the time, you know. And do you think that kind of the whole idea of grunge died with Kurt and because apart from you guys, because you guys are going, you know, steady, but you know.
I don't know. I don't really care.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, I mean, it doesn't really matter that much to me. Like,
I usually don't talk about these things, but it's
but
because it's rare.
But to me, we do what we do because we like what we do, and we're kind of too dumb to do anything else. You know.
Sure.
I was interested and influenced by many of the same bands before there was a thing called grunge, and still am by those same bands to this day. And of course, the influences have expanded over the years. I don't know. I don't really care what you call it.
Yeah.
You know.
Because you know what, I usually don't ask questions like this, or actually ask questions, or at least talk about this. But you know, it's a rare chance. And also, I watched a couple of interviews with you guys. You guys seemed pretty, you know, at ease speaking about, you know, grunge and stuff like that, and about, which is something like the sort of detachment of oneself in the of a band's self, I would say, and more like an analytical point of view that bands don't usually have. You know, so you know. That's what I was going for, but I don't really. Again, you do what you do, right? Because you do what feels natural to you, and whatever. You know, I get that. It's fine. I'm not.
Try not to analyze it too much.
Sure.
You know, one thing I hope we never do, and I think we've successfully avoided that, is like try to aim our songs at an audience.
Oh, good.
You know what I mean?
Okay, cool.
Like, because once you start thinking about what people want to hear, what the next trend is going to be, or whatever, I think you're kind of too late. You know, it's a different thing. Like if you're just happen to be like a young band and you're playing something that's like kind of newish or whatever, and you're like maybe on trend for the moment, but that's only going to last a little while.
Sure.
You know,
Yeah.
And then to like watch some bands kind of chasing what the trends are, it's painful to me. You know.
Yeah. Do you think there's a lot of that now? Because bands sometimes forget melodies.
I don't really
pay attention
that closely to like pop music, so I don't.
Oh no, I didn't even not even pop music. I just like stuff that's around now. You know, there's a lot of excellent stuff, but a lot of popular bands seem to just like I don't mean necessarily pop, but you know, just like well-known bands seem to forget that there's melody involved. You know, I was just listening to some. Not that I'm not an advocate of saying like, everything back in the day was better. No, not at all. But you know, there seemed to be a lot of, like an attention to melody that there isn't anymore. Sometimes it's just a style. You know, now it seems.
I don't know how much melody we have.
You do. It's in there.
It might be in there, but it's not like, you know, like we're not the band with tight harmonies and beautiful sing-along melodies and giant.
You're not the Beach Boys for sure, but
no.
but they're in there. I mean, there's black metal has melody somewhere in there. You just have to reach for it. It's there. Yeah. And punk rock also does. You know, boredoms have melodies. You know.
Yeah.
They're in there. They're weird, but you know, it's cool. They're still using, for instance, I'm curious. Are you still using the Big Muff?
Steve uses a Big Muff, yeah.
Okay. So no other fuzz boxes or whatever. It's just electroharmonics, classic.
He's got a couple of boxes. The Big Muff is one of his main ones. He also uses a Fuzz War sometimes.
Okay.
The Super Fuzz died a long time ago, and I kind of found myself gravitating to a box that was made in the early 90s called an Ibanez 60s Fuzz that I've just...
Oh, never heard that.
It's a weird box that they made for like 2 years, and I've...
Okay.
Over the years have found a few of them and had to like have a friend of mine put them in metal cases because they're pretty fragile boxes.
Oh, okay.
And for just like kind of lighter distortion, we use like the DoD pedals. I can't remember
Really?
what they're called.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, it's still around. Okay, cool,
Yeah.
awesome. I didn't know because for some reason I never got into DoD pedals, for instance. But I do have the little I forget. I actually just forgot the name, but the little white and green Big Muff one, the small box one.
Right.
I'm not sure. I went for it because I thought it had more range, but I didn't really know that it was as good as the other Big Muff. I have no idea. Yeah, whatever. But the wicker with the wicker thing, it's pretty actually very, very wide in terms of range actually, because the Big Muff tends to cut off the high ends sometimes, doesn't it? Because it gets all fat and the other one just has trebly sounds and bassier sounds just pretty well. The dynamics are really good, I find. Yeah, so I was curious about always curious about fuzzes, and because you obviously named your there's the shirt and the Mudhoney Big Muff shirt, but it's funny because the first time I owned a piece of Mudhoney music was the Judgment Night soundtrack.
Right.
So with Sir Mix-a-Lot.
Yeah.
And what was that I was sparing was how's doing that, and have you done anything similar since?
Oh, we don't do a lot of collaborations with people, but that was one.
Because that album might have launched new metal, maybe.
Maybe I don't know.
Not to put a burden on you, of course. It wasn't your responsibility.
It wouldn't have been because of us.
Yeah. That song, at least, yeah.
I think, from what I understand, that we might have been the only two people who were in the same studio at the same time.
Really?
Because I think a lot of it was done like through the mail or whatever.
Really? Already?
Yeah.
Because now apparently that's the norm. That you email everything.
Yeah.
People just record and whatever.
Well, I mean, this was kind of before email was a thing.
Yeah.
That was.
That's surprising. Exactly. That was around. Okay. Wow. Okay. So did you know the guy, and was he cool? And
We met him, and yeah, he's super cool.
Awesome.
Nice guy.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know. So it must have been like you guys in Faith No More and We Are Tribe, because you're never going to write what they did unless you're in the same room, I imagine, because that song was just not. I don't know. Because never going to agree on someone just freaking out on their own song if they're not in the same room. I know. I'm assuming a lot of stuff. But you guys released Vanishing Point in 2013. Are you guys doing anything you like new?
We're working on new stuff. It's a little slow going. Steve lives 3 hours away in Portland, so right now we're kind of in the middle of a touring cycle, so we're not really working on new stuff until we get back from that, and probably in August.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's cool. So there's basically no pressure.
No, there's no pressure. There's never really been any pressure. We don't.
Pressure from your own band, not labels or whatever.
Yeah,
I want to do something.
Yeah, I mean, at this, one of the kind of freeing things for us is that we do have jobs.
Yeah.
And so we're not. Our income doesn't come from music.
Mm-hmm.
So like, our music can just come straight from the heart. It doesn't. We don't have to think about like how many records we're selling or how many people are coming to shows. Luckily, people still come to our shows, and a few of them still buy records. But
So you guys are a strange version of Arbeit macht frei, which is the Nazi work makes you free.
Oh fuck!
It just fucks over your whole thing. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm joking, guys.
Well, I do work for Sub Pop, so that's a little bit like working at a concentration camp.
I would hope not. Oh. Hi, people at Sub Pop. You're not a fascist regime. I would.
Well, it's mainly Becca.
Becca is
is Die Führer.
This is awesome. Okay, man. Okay, that's pretty much done.
No.
Yeah, I think we couldn't end on a higher
great note to end on.
I would agree so as well. Thanks for doing this, dude. It's been a pleasure.
Sure thing.
Awesome,
man.
awesome. And I'll hope to see you once I get to Seattle one day, because, quite far. Sometimes, it's quite far away.
Yes, it is.
It's, it's pretty, it's not in, I can fly myself to Barcelona and watch your show, as I did last week.
You were down there for Primavera last week?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh, I forgot to mention that. By the way, we'll speak about this as well. For instance, so playing Primavera in Barcelona, how was it? And because you haven't played here, last time we played in Portugal was in Casillas, I think Almada.
We played Lisbon once.
I just said Almada with an accent. I'm sorry, Almada. So yeah.
And we played Lisbon once, and I think we've been trying to get to Lisbon for years, and finally got there and learned that the club that we were supposed to play at had shut down, and they found another venue across the river that they opened up that had been shut down, but someone got the keys somehow, and the toilets weren't working. But it was like a fully stocked bar. It was like someone just locked it, and it was a super fun show, except for all the poor people who had to deal with those toilets.
No going to the toilet during the Mudhoney show, but have yourself some fun.
We had a garbage can to pee in our backstage room.
That's fucking wretched. That's horrible.
It was terrible. But it was a great show, and the days that we spent here were really awesome.
Did Steve leave a huge penis on the wall or something? Because he does that, right?
Steve?
Yeah, Steve drives. Steve. I know.
He drives penises on the wall.
Is this something I heard you guys say like 10 years ago?
If that's his reputation, sure, yes, he.
I don't know. I watched an interview. You guys said Steve drew penises everywhere.
Maybe
we were bullshitting.
Joking, yeah.
Yeah. No, I wish that were true though. Maybe it's a thing from now on. Referencing nothing.
Whenever you go backstage, there's penises on the wall. Oh. That's all Steve.
Rock and roll mythology, with Mark. That's your show. No, drawing penises and stuff. No, I mean rock and roll mythology. I'm sorry, I just flubbed myself. Okay, but Primavera back in Barcelona, how was it like for you guys?
It was super fun. Yeah,
No, that's it.
Good crowd, yeah.
We're pretty much done. It's fine, dude. It's fine. Thanks again, man. It's been a pleasure.
Indeed.
Thank you.